here today with Autumn Lewis, who is our social media lead for editorial. Do you want to kind of explain what that means for everyone, Autumn?
Yeah, that's fine. So I am the social media lead at Archant. So I work with kind of the editorial titles across Archant and offer training and advice, or issue kind of best practice across all of our editorial titles, across like journalists and our editors.
Cool, which is great because what we're talking about today is post testing on Facebook, and we thought you'd be the perfect person to talk to about for this today. Firstly, I guess we should kind of explain what post testing is on Facebook. I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, so post testing on Facebook is a really fantastic tool. It's relatively new. It's kind of been around for about a year, and they've expanded kind of what you can do with post testing. So initially you could only use video, but now you can use several different types of media. Post testing basically will allow you to have a post, so your traditional post that you put on Facebook, but you'd be able to multiply it up to 4 times with different content in there, whether it's different video, photos, different links and different social cells. You can have different like ways of talking and asking questions, but you're basically able to send that out to an audience from your Facebook page. That can be non-followers or followers of your Facebook page, and it will test the post against that audience, and you can set a variable, whether it's people who comment, people who share, and you can set that as your variable to see how your post performs amongst these people.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess this tool is kind of going to open it up for people who are new to like the whole social media content posting for their business on Facebook, because I guess without doing it for years, you're not going to know what works for your audience and what doesn't.
Absolutely. Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, there are going to be businesses who, when they first set up their Facebook page, they don't know what audience they're going to have. So it's super important that you're then creating these posts and you can decide what works for you. You don't have to limit yourself. You can change and switch up different things of this post test, send it out to your audience, and you know what, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but you can try new things consistently.
Yeah, so it's super easy for people to do, isn't it? They can just go to their Facebook page, go to Creator Studio, like you said, and then I think it's under like publishing and post testing. Is that right?
So they've moved it, unfortunately, with Creator Studio. They're like always moving things about, but you can now find it under tools. It used to be under published, and then under so post testing under published. That might be the case for some profiles, but yeah, I think they're moving it over to a tools package, which is on that list as well.
So once someone's kind of set up their first post test, what would be some of the best things to start with, best practice? How have you found that works within your department?
So obviously with the editorial kind of side of things, we're looking at kind of news articles, we're looking at creating discussions across our Facebook pages. So that's kind of where we use post testing, is when we have like a breaking news article that we're not really sure how to play it on Facebook, or we have what we call engagement posts, is when we're asking like questions to our audience and we want to find out kind of what is going on in our communities. So we always try and make sure one thing stays the same. So for example, with an article and it's a breaking news story, we'll always keep that link the same. For an engagement post, we'll always keep that photo the same, but we'll change up the social cell. So the social cell is going to be like that description that you use on Facebook, you know, when you write a status or anything like that, that's that social cell there. So we usually change that up, and whether in that first one we're going to be asking a question, because we know that works with our audience. You know, people love to discuss in our comment section. Sometimes we'll use a question to ask our audience. Maybe the next one we play it straight and we just kind of keep it like with a web summary, or with an engagement post we'd go, you know, what do you guys think? We'd keep it quite simple. And then that third one, maybe we'd use like quite a few emojis, you know, get some color onto Facebook and see if that works for our audience.
Yeah.
But always make sure to keep something the same so that we're not testing too much, because you don't want to be like testing different links and different photos, and actually you're throwing the post test completely out the window because you're not really sure what works. You're just sending out different posts compared to each other. So you want to keep this one thing the same. You can also set the time period, so you can set it from 10 minutes or up to 24 hours. So with a 24-hour post, you're going to be posting or have that go out for 24 hours with that audience. So you might reach a larger audience in that 24 hours, and you're constantly testing which post is working better. that's great for longevity, that you can see that. But for us, we try and set it to about an hour or 2 hours to give it time to see what works. But for 24 hours, you know, sometimes you might miss the mark on like when you're posting that, because then it goes out manually afterwards.
Okay.
So the way a post test works is that when it's testing that post, it does the 4, but then the most successful one, the one that you've set for, you know, you want to find out the most commented post out of those 4, that one will win, and that one will automatically publish to your Facebook page. You can end the test early, and you can say, actually, you know what, it's great that one has loads of comments, but actually I prefer the third one where I asked a question. Let me put that one on instead. Also worth noting that when you do a Facebook post test, the post testing that you do will also remain for that audience that saw that post. So the way that post testing works, it will send out these 4 different posts to individual audiences on Facebook, but that audience will always see that post when they scroll on Facebook. That is the post that they will see. That will always remain on Facebook. However, the one that wins will remain on your Facebook page, and that is what the rest of your audience will see.
So people won't have to worry about their followers seeing like different messages for the same post and getting confused.
Yeah, no, the audience will only see the post that they saw initially.
Thank you for talking about that. I think it's a really great kind of new tool that people can start using. And like you said, it's a great way to understand your audience and get to know what they like to engage with, because obviously the end goal of social media content is to get people engaged, either through comments, reactions, link clicks. And yeah, that's the best way to see what they like to see from you as a business.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think every business should give it a go and just see if it works for them, and see what content is working amongst their Facebook page.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Autumn.
Right, thank you so much, Lana.